There it is. What's up, guys? Justin R. Harris here. Welcome back. Business Scenarios based off of the Daily Drucker. Peter Drucker's 366 Days of Business, Nonstop, Innovative Thinking. Great conversation, right? For those who are owners, managers of executive on an executive level. Whatever you have going on, where structure and organizational skills are a must. Everything that's needed to be successful with business. That's what we do here, right? It's in the description below if you're on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn, not so much, right? You got to go over to YouTube. That's where you can go and you can get the book. The Amazon link will take you over there. Or just follow along, right? Play the playlist, let it go in random order, or play them in order. They are numerically set up so that you know that there's some sort of chronological order when it comes to the conversation and how one plays on the other, but it's not necessarily required that you play it that way. Today's conversation, you see the topic, Winston Churchill. We're going to dive in a little bit more about him. I'm going to read exactly what Peter Drucker talks about with him, and just kind of why he uses him as a reference, if you will. It's key when you have a topic, right? Because if you want to get a point across, you kind of need a topic or a subject matter. And in this point, the subject matter is Winston Churchill and his leadership abilities and how that came about. So we'll just dump right into it. And it says, the last reality of the 30s, which the end of the economic man clearly conveys, is the total absence of leadership. The political stage was full of characters. Never before, it seems, had there been so many politicians working so frenziedly. Quite a few of these politicians were decent men, some even very able ones, right? This is how he's describing this. This is all the words of Peter Drucker, if you will. So we're not having story time here. All right. So, but accepting the twin princes of darkness, Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. They were all pathetically small men. Even mediocrities were conspicuous by their absence, right? But today's reader will protest. There was Winston Churchill. To be sure, Churchill's emergence as a leader in Europe's fight against the evil forces of totalitarianism was the crucial event. It was, to use a Churchillian phrase, the hinge of fate. Today's reader is indeed likely to underrate Churchill's importance. Until Churchill took over as a leader of free peoples everywhere, after the retreat at Dunkirk and the fall of France, Hitler had moved with apparent infallibility. After Churchill, Hitler was off for good, never retaining his sense of timing or his uncanny ability to anticipate every opponent's slightest move. The shrewd calculator of the 30s became the wild, uncontrolled plunger of the 40s. It is hard to realize today, 65 years after the event. Keep in mind, this was written in 2000. Well, this was published in 2004. That without Churchill, the United States might have resigned itself to to Nazi domination of Europe. Why did I say it? Why did I do that? All right. So what Churchill gave was precisely what Europe needed: moral authority, belief in values, and faith in the rightness of rational action. So, action point here. Record the key values that are operative in your organization. Compare these to values exposed by your leaders. Recommend steps to bring exposed values in line with operating values to produce the right action. So you can see where he went with this and kind of how he created an explanation in comparison to the I want to say, biggest challenges of those times, and from that time, 65 years prior. So we're just back up and say back in the 1940s, during the time of World War II, and what the Nazi powers were objectively looking to accomplish, right? So with everyone gathering up and going against that idealism that was being pushed across Europe at the time, um, who emerged, and without even being seen for what it is that they're capable of doing, how they emerged, right? And so that's kind of what he uses as we talk more and go more into leadership, and how sometimes the person you don't even suspect will be the leader is the up and coming, and all of a sudden rises during the time of greatest pressure. And here comes the diamond, right? Thank you guys.